All right, so I'm going to make a brief video about these two SUVs, and first one is a 2021 Infiniti QX80, and this is a 2021 Chevy Tahoe. And the reason why I'm making this video is to show that the Infiniti is indeed a very luxurious SUV, good looking SUV. Obviously it looks better than the Tahoe. Tahoe's not a bad looking SUV, but it holds its own pretty well. And I think this is kind of an apropos comparison just because people might cross shop these vehicles. Escalades I think are probably a bit more than the QX80. And if you're in the market for, a large SUV, then why not? And you may see this video and say, hey, the Tahoe stacks up well, or I can see why the Infiniti is a luxury SUV. That'll be for you to decide. But I mean, starting off the bat, I can already tell you, like, the 2021 Infiniti does not have an electronic parking brake, which makes no sense. You have wireless charging here. I like how these are kind of illuminated with LED strips. This is, good old American ease of use, and comfortable. These seats are comfortable. You have like a large sunroof in this Tahoe, and you have good room obviously in this Tahoe. The interior is blacked out, but it feels nice. You do have push button start, and you have a decent sized display here. So I mean, this is very simple and easy to use. Like, to put the car in park, you just press this button to put it in gear. That's easier than having knobs down here, in my opinion. These are going to last longer to me than the knobs, which can break. You have a little storage area in here where you can place your key. So that's super dope. These seats do feel a little bit smaller than the Infinitis. And it's interesting, these door locks kind of remind me of a Volkswagen product. But yeah, we'll take a look. You got your OnStar here. This is just a very, very simple, classy layout to me. I don't think you have radar cruise control in this. Well, actually, yeah, you do have radar cruise control in this thing. So, I mean, you have a lot of functions that wouldn't leave you wanting for anything from a luxury SUV standpoint. I don't know what half of these things do. Like this, I don't know what that does. Not going to mess with that. You do have heated seats. I know I'm jumping around a lot. You have USB ports here, and you have your standard charge port here. But yeah, this is a good looking SUV. I will say these seats do feel a little bit smaller. They're not as wide. I think because this center stack is a bit bigger. So I'm not even a big guy. I'm over 6 feet. But as far as like being girthy, this seat feels kind of small for a large SUV. I like the leather and the stitching here. This may be too plain or basic for some people. This fake wood's not glossy, so it's not trying to fool anyone. This foot rail right here is not automatic, which I actually prefer because I feel like automatic ones can break, and that would be such a hassle. And this feels solid. Some of these things, when you step in on them, they feel like they're going to give way. So that's kind of cool that one's solid. This one does have Bose audio. So this is kind of the view with the seats down. And so actually, I'll step out. Surely this has an automatic tailgate. So this is a Premier model, and it has quad exhaust, so that looks really good. And yeah, I mean, you have a ton of space here, but I feel like you're sacrificing some space on the sides here, besides kind of intrude on interior space. So that's interesting. And these seats do feel kind of small, but I will say that you can let these seats up. So I'll do that and show you what they look like. Okay. And so you can lift this seat up from back here. And there's a kick plate here. So that's cool, and to close it. So, I mean, it's a solid looking Good looking SUV. If you put a GMC logo on this, I mean, this almost feels like a Denali to me. I'm sure the Denali has some quilting in the leather, but you can see these seats look pretty good. These are captain's chairs, but again, they feel kind of small and they're not as comfortable as the seats are in the Infiniti, not gonna lie. And this right here is definitely not as great. So to let the seat down, you do that. And I love that the headrest comes down so you don't have to mess with this seat or slide this back first. But I'll put this up and I'll show you what this looks like with the seats up. And I will say these doors are very, very, very solid. I mean, this SUV is very brawny. Ooh, excuse me. But this is what it looks like with, you know, the seats up. I mean, you have good room back here, but these seats are smaller to me. But the floor doesn't come up as much as it does in the Infiniti. And I love this panel roof. I think if you're on a trip, it just makes this SUV feel like you're riding up, you know, kind of in like a, I don't know, a more luxurious space. So, and I forgot to mention, I mean, this display is not like the best, but the audio is solid in here too. So very, very solid SUV. And I like the digital thermostats on the AC controls. And so we'll go ahead and pop the hood, see what kind of engine this thing is packing. Again, this is a great looking SUV. You can't go wrong with this. All right, so this is a longitudinally mounted 5.3 liter V8 engine. American V8s aren't bad. It's not a twin turbo. Good power for an SUV this size. And so we'll go ahead and take a look at this SUV. This one obviously is a bit more luxurious. It has 22-inch wheels, whereas the Chevy has, yeah, these are 20-inch wheels. This is just so crazy how these almost look like 18s compared to these 22s. But yeah, this is a great looking SUV. Obviously, you have the chrome and the caps here. Kick plate lights up. The doors in the Chevy feel, you know, equally as solid as this one. This center stack, you know, does look a bit more luxurious, but just, you know, outside of the quilting, the Tahoe holds up pretty well, and it's all in personal preference what you want. These seats are a little bit wider and a bit more comfortable. You have good space back here. You have the captain's chairs, but you also have that center rest. You don't have as much space to kind of wallow about. Yeah, I'll show you the back here. These slotted. Alrighty, folks, at this point in the video, I would like to thank you all for watching, and I want to offer some narration. Unfortunately, my camera was struggling with the lighting here, so I tried a couple different settings, and you know, I don't do manual mode, so I just had to rock with it. Clearly, the Infiniti QX80 is a more luxurious SUV. This is due in part to the fact that this trim level is a bit higher. I don't think they all come standard with quilted seats. In this part of the video, I do mention that the back, the floor in the back is a little bit higher than it is in the Tahoe. And I think you have a little bit more room in this SUV. These seats are definitely more comfortable. They're definitely wider. They don't have any more bolstering. But there are compromises that have been made in both of these SUVs. If I had to pick one, I'd pick the QX80. I do think the Tahoe looks really, really good for a non-luxury SUV. It looks excellent. I mean, if the Infiniti's a 9, the Tahoe's like an 8.5. It's a very, very handsome SUV. And they stack up well together. But I, again, in this video was struggling with the footage, and I had to delete a lot of the footage. But I wanted to put this out here because some people may not think about cross-shopping these two, but I think that would be a missed opportunity. Okay, and lastly, the Infiniti QX80 does have a 5.6 liter V8. I forgot to mention that, and I didn't pop the hood in this video. I do compare this SUV to a 2016 QX80, and the footage is a little bit better if you want to check that out. You can't go wrong with either one of these vehicles. It comes down to personal preference. The drivetrains are definitely adequate to tow and haul and pull this massive amount of weight for these SUVs. And with that, I want to thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.